Hi, this is Cargo Film Presents. I'm Dave.
I'm Dan.
On Cargo Film Presents, we talk documentaries that are in the marketplace, documentaries that we're involved with. If you love documentaries, keep watching. Today we're going to be talking about a Netflix documentary called My Octopus Teacher.
It's a hard thing to explain, but sometimes you just get a feeling and you know there's something to this creature that's very unusual.
The film is a heartwarming tale of interspecies connection. In this case, it's a human and mollusk. It's rare these days that a film is narrated and featured by just one person, and in this case, it's Craig Foster. And the film is a first-person narrative of Craig coming to a crossroads in his life. He's burnt out, depressed, and he takes to swimming in this beautiful, idyllic-looking South African coastal waters where he grew up, and he befriends an octopus, and it changes him. The film also has elements of kind of blue-chip underwater wildlife documentaries. It could very well stand in for an episode of Richard Attenborough's Blue Planet, where you learn a lot about the underwater ecosystem in this part of the world, and you probably learn more about more than you want to know about octopi. What did you think?
Yeah, as you know, I've got a soft spot for films that focus on the relationship between the human and non-human world and animals. So, this one was certainly right up my alley. And, I think it begins where maybe a lot of us are feeling a certain disconnection from nature and the natural world, which is what Craig is feeling, I think, after being a nature filmmaker, photographer for a while, and he sort of felt outside of nature, and so he wants to reconnect and sort of go inside the natural world. So he goes back to his favorite boyhood spot, which is the Cape of Storms, which is one of the most dangerous places to swim, and he sort of commits himself to swimming. And there in this like amazing kelp forest, he finds an octopus, and so begins his year-long relationship with this octopus.
Yeah, I was really jealous watching parts of this film. There are parts of this film that I do really like. I'm a big swimmer, and so seeing him, always head out to this beautiful ocean and swimming for days on end, sounded very appealing to me personally, and just him talking about the experience of swimming in that in those waters. He talks about how the body just relaxes, and you have this beautiful window of about 10 to 15 minutes where your body acclimates to the environment and just comes alive, and you start to fly. So that was lovely. The underwater footage is pretty extraordinary. He is a cinematographer by trade, so that came in very handy. And of course, this theme that you mentioned of this appreciation of nature and everything that comes with it is also very comforting. And as Craig likes to say in the film, it teaches one gentleness, and I really like that.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, I think that sometimes nature docs tend to show us nature sort of a step away, observing, and that's nice. You see this sort of sublimeness, and you're awed by some of the things that you see. Or we see nature docs that are man versus nature, and this one was really about this beautiful relationship between an octopus and Craig, and just also shows you how kind of weird and strange nature can be, which I think we sometimes forget when we're too far removed, or we see it as some kind of hostile threat. It's strange and weird and odd and beautiful and crazy, and as you mentioned, some of the long lens photography of all these bizarre creatures you see at the bottom of this kelp forest it's super cool. So if you're into underwater photography and just the diversity and craziness of nature, then that's definitely on full display here.
Yeah, it's a whole other world under there. It really is amazing. The filmmakers are using tropes that we've seen in other wildlife docs, right? I mean, they kind of create this narrative of predator and prey. In the case of this film, it's the villain is the Pajama Shark who preys on the gentle and intelligent octopus. It does feel a little contrived at times. I was rolling my eyes a little bit, but I think it does come off, and they do a good job at it, if only because of the ingenious methods of escape that the octopus employs, right? I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty cool how, in a couple of instances, the octopus escapes from the Pajama Shark.
Absolutely. Not only his escapes, which are ingenious and incredibly smart, and full of deception, but also the way in which it goes after its prey. The different kinds of prey that the octopus has. It's a range, so it has to employ all these different methods in order to catch its prey, and it seemingly learns as it goes, which is kind of remarkable. You're thinking, wow, this octopus is, it's looks to be one of the most clever creatures in the ocean. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you appreciate the intelligence of animals, you'll love this. If you don't, you might be a little scared to see how smart they can be, how much intelligence they have.
Yeah, intelligence and creativity, really, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, so, watching this film at about 65 minutes, I did check the runtime. I kind of felt like I was done, and as happens often with films that try to stretch it out to a 90-minute runtime. I feel like there is some filler here and there. It's not excessive here, but there are sections where I feel like they were just filling it in. I think that I think they should do a follow-up on the Pajama Shark. I mean, the Pajama Shark first of all, it's got a pretty cool name.
Yes.
It's all about kind of lulling you into thinking that they're ready to pack it in and go and get a good night's rest, but then they come out and attack when you're not expecting. I mean, it's a natural follow-up to this.
That's right. They have that amazing death spiral. Once they get a hold of the fish, they just start like spinning around and around. You're like, wow, that is a scary fish. But yeah, you're right. The pacing is slow, and it maybe does go on for a little bit too long. I mean, you get the theme that it's really about the transformative power of nature. Craig sort of seeks it out as in order to heal what's sort of ailing him, and it certainly makes its point that we are part of nature. Right. We like to sometimes think of ourselves as separate and apart, but what Craig really shows is that we are part of the natural world, whether we like it.
I love that thread in the film, because I believe it. However, I do feel, at least in this story, I mean, they don't get into what ails Craig too much. You just know that he's not feeling too good, and that he does feel restored by this connection to this octopus and to these waters, which is great. I suppose that's all you really need to know at the end of the day. But I wonder if they could have gone a little bit deeper, perhaps, so that that theme might have resonated even more if you knew what was going on in Craig's life. But whatever.
I agree. Yeah, I did ask myself what were Craig's difficulties, but as you said, once the film sort of moves into the relationship with him the octopus, you forget, you kind of let it go. It's obviously a kind of a trope to say that. I mean, not to say it's just a trope. I mean, clearly also Craig was truly feeling disconnected and depressed and exhausted, I suppose. But it really is about the restoration and the healing that takes place through the relationship with the octopus.
I don't think we can talk about this film without talking about some of the social media frenzy that it caused when it landed on Netflix in early September. The Twitter sphere did go a little nuts by implying a more than is a comfortable relationship between men and the mollusk, and it kind of culminated with mainstream articles and publications such as Vulture, with the headline that read, "So how horny is the Netflix octopus movie?" Where it ponders the erotic nature of this interspecies connection. It's all it speaks to how we really don't have anything better to do these days in quarantine, I suppose. But and it is almost a little comical sometimes how Foster talks about this octopus, where the language he uses could be applied to a romantic relationship, right? I mean, it did sound a little bit much. Not to say that he didn't feel that way, and it was his way of communicating what this relationship meant to him. So it's easy to make fun, as you can imagine.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he definitely had a very strong attachment to the octopus, and yeah, I mean, it is, one could say it is a love story. And he admittedly is obsessed, and was obsessed with this octopus. So I get it, it makes good clickbait, but
right. It's definitely not a stretch to call it a love story, that's for sure.
We need more love stories with nature, but speaking of which,
yeah,
you were going to Loving Bananas.
That's right. Loving Bananas is a film that Cargo Film is involved with. It's a film directed by American actress Ashley Bell, who's done a lot of TV and film work, probably best known for some of her genre and horror film work. And she appears in this film, Loving Bananas, and also directs it wonderfully. And she documents the efforts of a group of people in Thailand that set out to save the East Asian elephant, while at the same time raising awareness for the plight of the East Asian elephant in this part of the world. Elephant rescues are rare, and they're unpredictable, and they're often life-threatening. And Bell documents a team of elephant rescuers led by world-renowned elephant conservationist Lek Chelart. And they embark on this mission to rescue Noi Na, a 7-year-old captive elephant, partially blind, and they bring her 500 miles across Thailand to freedom.
Yeah. I remember one review saying that it's hard to watch Loving Bananas and leave with a dry eye, and it's certainly, I admit, it got me choked up. So it's a really beautiful film. Another, I was remembering back at how dramatic it is. Like, you just think, oh, well, they just gotta take this elephant 500 miles in a truck, but considering her condition, Noi Na's condition, her age, it's touch and go the whole way. So it is pretty it's a nerve-wracking.
And footage of how the locals in this part of the world break a young elephant in by putting them in these cages for years and beating them is just awful to witness. It's a big-hearted, effective story, well told, and has fans all over the world since it's been out. It's a few years old now, and it's a good film to watch with the family as well. So you can check it out on transactional platforms like iTunes, Amazon, and so on, but also having a second life now in the US on Sundance Now, so you can check it out there.
Yeah, so you've got octopus, you've got elephants,
You're set for the weekend.
You're good.
Yep, absolutely. Connect to the animal this weekend. Check out these films. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. See you next time.
See you next time.
Where they exist, there is often human conflict.
Look at their eyes. They want to be freedom like us.
She stopped drinking water. We're still trying to move as fast as we can.
They want me to put everything under carpet. I will speak. Even my life will be suffer.
He's never let them be free.
This is the first time.
So you're breaking the chain.
They accept you as a hurt now.
Oh, Lex.